Yo, what is up, people? We are back with the video that's been requested a lot over on the channel since I did my first settings guide, which was getting over 200 FPS on streets. I'll admit we're not quite hitting those numbers with this particular patch, this particular wipe and stuff, but my game is running silky smooth. So if you want to try and get your game running like that, follow these settings and fingers crossed it can work out just how mine does. So we're going to switch over. We're going to look at my actual Battle State Games launcher. So we're going to load this up. And then we'll go through a couple of settings on here. These are things that you want to be tweaking and changing and just clearing out on a daily basis. So you want to click the game settings. You want to clear your cache. You want to click logs and delete every single one of these. These just rack up the more raids that you do. And then you want to click the check integrity or integrity check. This will take 3 or 4 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. I'm not going to click it because it won't allow me to click anything else. But just do that. Even if you do those 3 things every single time you load up the game, it just helps to make everything run a little bit smoother. Second, click this little drop down menu up here. Click launcher settings. When I close the launcher window, you want to exit the launcher. And when you launch the game, you want to exit the launcher completely. Sorry, something flicked up on my monitor then, guys. I had to look up. That was really weird. Yeah, launch the game. You want to exit the launcher completely. Then you want to scroll down ever so slightly and go to the temp directory. Click on this. It will bring up this page. And then you want to go back to Battle State Games. Go into EFT. Right click on Escape from Tarkov, click Properties, and then you want to click Compatibility. You want to disable full screen optimizations. In my previous guide, I'm pretty sure I had this unticked. You now want to tick this. It makes things run a lot smoother. Run this program as an administrator. I do this. It's entirely up to you if you want to. Obviously, I then run other programs like Lumia, InstructorBot, and I have to run those as administrator to make sure that they take control over Tarkov. This is up to you. I don't really think this affects your FPS in any way, shape, or form. Change high DPI settings. Click this, tick this box here of override high DPI scaling behavior, scaling performed by the application. Click OK, click apply, and OK. Boom. You're done on this particular bit. So we have now switched over to the main game, guys, and you will see that Loki, my boy, is chilling up in his cat tree. He chills with us pretty much every single day over on stream. Twitch.tv/iminiman, 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. UK time. If you want to come check me out, that'd be appreciated. If not, let's get back to the settings. So we're in the game. You want to go down to your settings cog in the bottom corner. These 2 boxes here I have unticked. On my previous settings guide, I did actually have these both ticked. Everything runs better without them ticked now, so I untick them. It's pretty much as simple as I can make it. I play 1440 16x10. I like my PMCs to be nice and fat, easier to shoot, easier to headshot. Does kind of get a little bit weird trying to get used to it to begin with, but I just prefer it this way. I play borderless. That is because obviously I want to switch between my different monitors when I'm streaming. If you are not a streamer and you are just stuck on one monitor, that's absolutely fine. Play full screen. I do think it helps a little bit with your FPS, but as a streamer, I want to switch between my monitors. Borderless works for me. VSync is ticked. A couple of people kicked off about this in the previous video. Some people said they really, really liked having VSync ticked. This just works. It gives me more FPS. I have it ticked. I have it unticked in my video control panel, which I'll show you later. And then as we go down, we have high, low, 2.5, and 1500. I have 2.5 here because it helps to render in some of the iron sights on some of the weapons within the game. Things like the 5.7 and some other weapons within the game, their iron sights literally just won't load. They look like Play-Doh if you don't have this on 2.5. If you go down to 2, it messes them up. 1500 for the overall visibility. Also, just makes everything look nice, makes it pop in at a good distance. It's not too close and doesn't make things render in when it's too far away. And just batter your FPS. 1500 seems to work just right. TAA high. Again, it just works the best. You can drop it to TAA if you want to, but it's not really going to give you too much more FPS. FXAA, I actually used to play on this. Sometimes it can help with spotting PMCs because you kind of see them glisten in the distance. But yeah, it can kind of hurt your eyes after a while. So TAA high is going to give you okay FPS. If you do want the absolute best, turn this to FXAA and off. But good luck with your eyeballs. They're going to hurt. 1 times off on your resampling. And then off on all of this stuff. Off if you want the best FPS. If you want to make your game look a little bit pretty, you can maybe put some SSR. Get some little reflections in puddles and windows. That can make it harder to spot PMCs. HBAO, you can put this on a max performance, high performance, etc. But if you want the best FPS, which is why you're here, turn all of these off. The only other thing is I do have my sharpness at 3. This is a little trick and tip that I can give you guys. The painkiller effect in Tarkov, yes, they've kind of altered it, but it still does increase your sharpness. By having this on 3, I don't see that visible change when it increases my sharpness. It'll just keep everything looking exactly the same. Obviously, I still get the color blur where I kind of get the color and then the black and white around the outsides. But yeah, in terms of the actual sharpness, doesn't affect it. When my painkillers run out, my screen doesn't suddenly go all blurry because I'm already playing at the maximum sharpness. And then I just alter my sharpness on my monitor and in my Nvidia control panel so that everything doesn't just actually look too sharp overall. The only thing I have ticked down here is the Streets of Tarkov lower texture resolution mode. And again, this is just because Streets is tough to run, but this helps massively. Post effects. I didn't used to run post effects. I now do. If you don't really want to run anything too crazy with your post effects, but you do want to be able to see a little bit better, put them on and just increase your clarity. Put this like 70 or 80. Go stand in an offline raid. Turn this up and down. Move this up and down and just see the difference. Helps to reduce the fog. Makes the dark colors a little bit darker, like the blacks and stuff stand out. Helps to kind of just reduce that fog. That's the main thing. Inside interchange, things like that. Clarity is massive. These are the ones, if you want to copy them, it's up to you. Everyone's monitor is going to look slightly different. Post effects in general will reduce your FPS ever so slightly, but it's worth it in the long run. Okay, let's go check out the control panel. So on to the control panel. This is only going to work if you have an Nvidia graphics card. If you have an AMD, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I've never had an AMD graphics card, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. But Nvidia control panel, let's get into it. This is where all the juicy stuff happens. This is where all the good stuff happens. Hopefully you guys can see all this fine. I know on my previous one it was a little bit difficult. You want to go to the top one, adjust image settings with preview, click the middle box, and if it's not already on this one, click apply. Go down to manage 3D settings. You want to go across to program settings, and if you don't see Escape from Tarkov in this drop down, you want to click add. Go and find Escape from Tarkov wherever it is within all your files and stuff within your PMC. So you click browse, find Tarkov, and then it will pop up here. What this will do, it will only change settings for Tarkov and not everything else on your PC. Let's go down the list. Image scaling, use global setting. Anisotrophic filtering, application controlled. FXAA off, gamma correction on, mode, application controlled. Setting, application controlled. Application max frame rate off, GPUs all. Obviously you can click your GPU, but if you've only got one, you're absolutely fine. This one here I've never actually seen before. Sysmem fallback policy, driver default. I've never seen this before, so we're just going to leave it as default. A low latency mode is ultra, and my max frame rate is 240 fps because I've got a 240 hertz monitor. Set this to whatever your maximum hertz is on your monitor. Pretty simple. 144, 240, whatever it is. Set that there. Monitor technology is G-Sync compatible. MFAA is turned off. The GDI compatibility is just on auto, and then my open at GL running with GPU is just performed on my GPU. You can have its auto select or whatever if you've only got one. Power management mode, prefer maximum performance. If you don't have this power plan, there is a way to install it. Just YouTube it. I don't want to go all technical and bring up the run and the Windows stuff and whatnot, because I don't want to go messing with people's PCs. I'm not that great with PCs. I'm going to be honest. I just have pretty good Tarkov settings. So go check that out for yourself if you want to find out how to turn this prefer maximum performance setting on, unless you already have it. Refresh rate, highest available. Anisotrophic sample option on. Negative LOD bias, allow. Quality on high performance. Trilinear optimization on. Threaded optimizations on. This is because I have a Ryzen CPU. If you have Intel, this might work differently. If you want to put it off, it's up to you. For me, this works having it on. Triple buffering off and VSync off within the control panel, and obviously on within the game. Change resolution, obviously with these, you just want to click on your different monitors, see whatever you've got, and make sure that they're running at the maximum FPS and hertz and all that good stuff. Then you want to go down to adjust desktop color settings, and this is, I was going to say that's not what I used, but it was because I was clicked on the wrong one. This is what I used, 52, 57, 1.25. I like to melt my retinas, and then 90% on the digital vibrance. The reason I have this so high is because of things like the Twitch Rivals armband, Untar armors, many other colorful items that PMC is going to be wearing. It makes them just stand out, and I can shoot them in the face. It's beautiful. The rest of this stuff you don't really need to touch. Adjust desktop size and position. You want to go to no scaling and perform the scaling on the GPU. And again, just make sure these are at the maximum res and refresh rate. Pretty simple. Set up G-Sync. If you have a G-Sync monitor, click it, enable it for windowed and full screen. If you're going to run the borderless, if you're just going to run full screen, enable for full screen mode. Enable settings for the selected display model, and pretty simple. Set to multiple displays. It's not going to affect your FPS. Do what you want. And the video color settings and stuff, if you want to tweak these, go for it. I don't. If you want to quickly copy these, go for it. I'm pretty sure these are just standard. Now, for my last little tricks and tips, guys, these are some special little ones. You want to click your Windows key. You want to type %app data %. Boom. It's going to open up this here. You want to go back to app data, click local, scroll down to D3DS cache, and you just want to delete all of these. Yours may be a lot more than this. Obviously, I clear this quite regularly. And then you want to go back to local again and go down to temp, and you want to delete all of these temp files, every single one of them. Boom. And then when this pops up, do this for all current items, click skip, let it delete everything, and that's it. So yeah, I don't know what most of these are, but if they're chilling, they're temp files, I'll leave them to it. Now, this special little program is called the Intelligent Standby List Cleaner. I will leave a link down in the description to download this. This thing is a thing of beauty. I'm going to purge my standby list quickly now. I'm going to click stop. With this program, you want to make sure that whatever your maximum total system memory is, I have 64 gig of RAM. Obviously, it does say it's like 65 gig and a half. But yeah, I've got 64 gigs of RAM. You want to make sure that whatever half of your RAM is, the value, put it in this box here. So 32 gigs, so 32,000 megabytes. Half of this, stick that in this bottom box. This will say 1024. Wanted timer resolution 0.50. And then in this box here, the ISLC polling rate. If you have a pretty decent PC, put this at 500. If your PC is a little bit lower end, maybe put this at 1000. But I think most people, if you're running Tarkov and stuff, should be absolutely fine. Set this at 500, click start, minimize it. And all this will do is clear up any free memory that's just like chilling and being used up, but needs to kind of just be wiped. It's just being used, but it doesn't need to be used. So every time your RAM gets to a certain amount, it'll just kind of clear it up. You purge your standby list. Boom. We're down. We're getting all our RAM again. Bosh. Let it do its thing. Again, I'm not a computer wizard. It's just a great program. Go for it. I'll leave the link down below. If you don't want to use it, that's totally fine. And to be honest, guys, I think that is pretty much it. I did have somebody mention to me, it's not really about FPS, but how my mouse cursor, if you've noticed it in the video, is so big. Just go into your mouse settings, increase the size of your mouse cursor. Somebody said, oh, put that in your settings video. So if you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. Go for it. It helps with kind of like moving your stash around and looting a little bit within Tarkov. I actually saw it on a landmark video years and years and years ago, and I was like, yeah, I'll make my cursor bigger. Someone said I should talk about it. So there we have it. If you've enjoyed the video, guys, please like, comment, sub. Come check me out at twitch.tv/iminiman, 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. UK time. Also, you've probably seen these scrolling. If you want to get yourself some mini merch, we have hats, we have hoodies, we've got t-shirts, we've got loads of new stuff coming. Go check that out. And the G Fuel code is code MINI. Get yourself up to 30% discount across the entire website. Go check it out, guys. Thank you for chilling. I hope you've enjoyed it. Leave comments down below if you want to know any other stuff. And like I say, come check out the live stream. It'd be much appreciated. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.